Deep within the fiery depths of hell reign 7 powerful princes. They are the embodiment of temptation, always seeking to lead humanity astray. Each prince represents a deadly sin, a path of wickedness that can corrupt even the purest soul. They whisper in our ears, tempting us with promises of power, pleasure, and despair. Their goal is to claim our souls and drag us down into eternal darkness. But there is hope. We are not alone in this fight. These princes are ancient evils, their existence intertwined with the fate of humanity. They were once angels, shining brightly in the heavens, but pride and envy poisoned their hearts, leading them to rebel against God. For their treachery, they were cast out of heaven, condemned to rule a kingdom of shadows and torment. Now, they seek to spread their misery, tempting humanity to follow their dark path. The 7 princes are not to be underestimated. They are cunning and patient, always searching for a weakness to exploit. They appeal to our deepest desires, twisting our thoughts and desires for their own wicked purposes. But we must remember that they are not invincible. Their power lies in deception and temptation. By recognizing their influence and resisting their whispers, we can break free from their grasp. The battle against the 7 princes is a battle for our very souls. It is a battle that rages within each one of us. But we are not alone in this fight. There is a light that shines even in the darkest depths, a hope that can never be extinguished. That hope is Jesus Christ, our Savior. His teachings offer us a path to redemption, a way to resist the temptations of the 7 princes and find true peace and happiness. Lucifer, the fallen angel, the morning star, is the prince of pride. His sin is the most insidious, the root of all other evils. He tempts us with the allure of superiority, the belief that we are better than others. He whispers in the ears of the successful, the beautiful, the talented, feeding their egos until their hearts overflow with arrogance. Lucifer's whispers are subtle, often disguised as ambition or self-improvement. He convinces us that we deserve more, that we are destined for greatness. He makes us crave recognition, admiration, and praise. But this pursuit of self-glorification blinds us to the needs of others, turning our hearts cold and uncaring. Pride can manifest in many forms. It can be the haughty disdain of the wealthy for the poor, the condescending sneer of the intellectual towards the uneducated, or the bitter envy of the unsuccessful towards those who have achieved more. Whatever its form, pride isolates us from others, creating a wall of self-importance that prevents us from experiencing true connection and love. Lucifer's greatest triumph is convincing us that we don't need God. He whispers that we are strong enough, wise enough, good enough to make it on our own. He wants us to believe that we are our own gods, the masters of our own destinies. But this is a lie. We are all God's children, created in His image, and we need His guidance and love to find true fulfillment. Leviathan, the serpent of the sea, embodies the corrosive sin of envy. He lurks in the shadows, whispering poisonous doubts and comparisons into our hearts. He feeds on our insecurities, magnifying our perceived shortcomings and fueling our resentment towards those we believe have wronged us or possess what we lack. Leviathan's whispers are like venomous darts, piercing our hearts with bitterness and discontent. He points out the successes of others, highlighting their wealth, their talents, their relationships, making us feel inadequate and insignificant in comparison. He twists our perception, convincing us that their happiness comes at our expense, that their good fortune is somehow a theft from us. Envy is a bottomless pit, a hunger that can never be satisfied. It consumes our thoughts, poisoning our relationships and stealing our joy. It drives us to act in petty and destructive ways, seeking to tear down others in a futile attempt to elevate ourselves. Leviathan wants us to believe that happiness is a finite resource, a prize to be fought over and hoarded. But this is a lie. True happiness is found not in comparison or competition, but in gratitude for our own blessings and in genuine joy for the good fortune of others. Section 4. Satan's Wrath. Satan, the adversary, the Lord of Lies, is the Prince of Wrath. He thrives on chaos and destruction, inciting anger and hatred in the hearts of men. He whispers in moments of frustration, fanning the flames of irritation into raging infernos of fury. His goal is to turn us against one another, to unleash the beast of violence that lurks within us all. Satan's whispers are like sparks in a tinderbox, igniting our tempers and clouding our judgment. He magnifies every perceived slight, every injustice, every inconvenience until we are blind with rage. He convinces us that violence is the answer, that revenge is justified, that our anger is righteous. Wrath is a destructive force, tearing apart relationships, communities, and nations. It leads to violence, both physical and emotional, leaving scars that may never heal. It consumes us from within, poisoning our thoughts, our words, and our actions. Satan wants us to believe that anger is a sign of strength, that holding on to grudges is a virtue. But this is a lie. True strength lies in forgiveness, in letting go of anger and choosing peace. Section 5. Mammon's Greed. Mammon, the lord of avarice, is the prince of greed. He whispers tales of wealth and luxury, promising happiness and security in material possessions. He preys on our insecurities, convincing us that we will never have enough, that we must constantly strive for more, even at the expense of others. Mammon's whispers are seductive, promising us comfort, security, and power. He makes us believe that happiness can be bought and sold, that our worth is measured in the things we own. He encourages us to hoard our wealth, to prioritize our own material desires above the needs of others. Greed is an insatiable hunger, a thirst that can never be quenched. It drives us to work ourselves to exhaustion, to sacrifice our relationships, our health, and our integrity in pursuit of wealth and possessions. It isolates us from others, creating a world where we are only surrounded by things, not people. Mammon wants us to believe that money is the answer to all our problems, that material possessions will bring us lasting happiness. But this is a lie. True happiness comes from within, from our relationships, our passions, and our connection to something greater than ourselves. Section 6. Belphegor's Sloth. Belphegor, the demon of indolence, is the prince of sloth. He tempts us with the allure of comfort and ease, urging us to choose inaction over effort, procrastination over discipline. He whispers in our ears when we are tired, discouraged, or simply seeking a moment's rest, convincing us that we deserve a break, that our responsibilities can wait. Belphegor's whispers are insidious, lulling us into a state of apathy and complacency. He makes us believe that our dreams are too difficult to achieve, that our goals are not worth the effort. He encourages us to choose instant gratification over long-term fulfillment, to waste our time and potential on fleeting pleasures and distractions. Sloth is a slow poison, gradually eroding our ambition, our creativity, and our sense of purpose. It keeps us trapped in a cycle of inaction and regret, preventing us from experiencing the joy of accomplishment and the fulfillment of living a meaningful life. Belphegor wants us to believe that life is about avoiding discomfort, that true happiness lies in idleness and indulgence. But this is a lie. True happiness comes from embracing challenges, pursuing our passions, and using our talents to make a positive impact on the world.